What is up, crypto ninjas? It's Saturday morning, I'm Wingnut, so that must mean it's time to look at all the crypto markets. Been a pretty green last couple of days, but it also starting to look like it might just be a bull trap, so got a little bit of stuff to talk about. But before we get into all of that, just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on the internet telling you what he thinks going on, giving you what he believes is going to happen. So make sure you're doing all your own research before you throw your hard-earned money into any of the crypto game, because it's all high risk and you want to make sure that you're doing what you feel comfortable with and mitigating your risk as much as possible. Starting as we always do here with the big guy Bitcoin. We can see a couple days ago we actually managed to close below the $30,000 line. It's not a very good sign. I figured that was where we were going to see ourselves drop down to the 25k line, but the next day we saw a nice significant bounce up. A little bit of good volume in it, not significant volume, but a little bit higher than a lot of the last few days. Brought it back up and we got resistance off the 20-day EMA there, but we are managing to push up it past it now, but very low volumes. We have very low volumes doing a lot of the upward price pressure right now, so it could just be a bull trap. It could just be the price going up with a little bit of volume. Everyone gets a little bit of happy, good feelings, start throwing some more money in, and then we get a strong reversal. So I'm not necessarily thinking that this is a good giant pump where we're going to see us push all the way up into here. But I have a feeling come early next week we're going to see a reversal back down, back towards the $30,000 line. There's just not a lot of volume happening here. I would like to see a lot more. I mean, it's possible that we keep pushing up from here, maybe this is where everyone starts jumping back into the market, but it's just low volume. I would love to see a little bit higher volume. It's still good. I mean, it's nice to see greens. Let's take a look at it. So, we've moved back up past the $33,000 line. Why is it? Oh, because that's showing me the price of the EMA, that's why. So we made it past the 33k line again yesterday, so we made it past that area that, we get a little bit of price pressure at, and we're on our way back up to like 35, which is my next line where we get a little bit of price action at. So if we can take that, then I think we're gonna probably not make it past the 36.5 line. If we do, this is the line to beat right now. If we can make it past $36,500 and we can close above that, that's where I'm going to start thinking, ooh, good things are happening. The market is starting to get all juicy again. But until we can take that line, I'm not popping the cork on the champagne yet. If we can make it past 35 in this push here, and we can close up in here, I'll put the champagne on ice, because that could be a good sign. I won't crack it. I'm not going to crack it until we can close up here, but I will put it on ice if we can close up in here again in this push. If this low volume little push can manage to maintain the next couple of days, and then into early next week we can still keep up in here, that could be a good sign, because our downtrend would technically be broken if we can push way up here and close up into here. We set a new higher high again, where we stop getting all these lower points. It could be good. So we're in I say this every week, we're in a weird state. It's never Saturday seems to be the wrong day to be doing these videos, but it works best for my schedule, so it is what it is. But we're in a transitionary state now. We're getting close to the end of July. We're almost into August, so we're almost into that point where I think that the market's going to heat up. So really, I could be wrong about a reversal coming and pushing us back, and we could slowly trickle up, and this could be the point where we start going back. But again, it's anybody's guess right now. If we had nice strong volumes here, like pushing up where we saw back here at the end of June, we were seeing these volumes again, I'd be feeling a little bit better about the current price climb. But with the volumes where they are, it's a little hard to get super excited about it. But again, 35,000 is going to be our next point of resistance. I know I've got it as a green support line, but really we're below it, so it's technically a resistance line at this point. I just don't want to be flipping all the lines all the time. And this is still going to be our strong resistance line at 36.5. And again, 30,000 did manage to, I mean, we got below it, but I'm still calling that our strong support line. You know, anything could happen. People are still saying they're thinking it's going to go to 25 or all the way. I'm not seeing us dropping all the way like to 20, or some people are saying, oh, we're going to go to 10, we're going to go to 5. I doubt that really, really much. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We might get below this again, but I don't know. We're starting to get to the juicy point where I think the market's going to start heating up. So this may have been the only time we dip below it. The next couple of days will be telling. So we'll see how that goes. Let's hope that we continue pushing up, and let's hope we can take the next couple of critical points and things can start getting back to the bull run. I think that's going to really do it for Bitcoin. There's not a lot that I can say. You know, the downtrend is currently technically broken, and we'll have to see if we can maintain it with these low volumes or if the volumes pick up. So that's going to be it for Bitcoin. Nope, it's not. 1 second, we gotta look at the dominance factor. I always forget this. I always gotta say, oh, it's not, it's the dominance factor. But you can see, I'm just trying to make this look good. There, that we're pretty much flat. There's not a lot of money moving in or out of the alts as far as compared to you know, Bitcoin. It's staying pretty flat right around the 46% line. I'm pretty sure that's where we were last weekend too. It was right around 46. You know, we dumped up a little bit, we've dipped down a little bit, so it's staying right in this zone. The market's not really calling it alt season or alt season is over. It's just kind of, everything is kind of trailing along with the big guy. So not a lot of motion there. Not a lot of things to say about it because it's not really telling us much. It's just flat. So that's going to be it. Now we're done the Bitcoin. Next up, we're going to talk about Bitcoin's little brother, Ethereum, which, you know, like the rest of the market, had itself a nice little climb. It didn't make it below my bottom support line of 1700. It barely didn't even touch it. It got down to like 1706. So, you know, that did provide the nice strong support that I was hoping it would. And obviously we came up pretty hard off that once the market took its little pump. Like Bitcoin, we're seeing pretty low volumes doing most of this market pushing, so it could be a bull trap. Unlike Bitcoin, we haven't broken where our trend line would be. So let's go ahead and we'll actually draw one for Ethereum. We'll try to put it like right about here, and we will come down, and you can see we're right on our downward trend line. So this line is probably going to give us a bit of a resistance that we see going on right now. If we can make it up past that, I don't know if we're going to necessarily make it past this 2250 line. I think this is probably going to give us some pretty good strong resistance if we do get past it. If we make it up past 2250, then that is going to be a very good sign for Ethereum. And I mean, there's a lot of bullish news out there. The triple halving that they're talking about now coming with Ethereum 2.0, where they're going to significantly cut the block rewards that are being emitted down to, I think it's like 1,280 a day from 12,800. So it's going down to like 10%. Don't quote me on those numbers. I haven't done a super lot of research on it, but it's going to significantly cut down the amount of Ethereum that is being emitted. So combine that with the fee burns that are coming out next month. Once 2.0 comes around, we're going to see Ethereum. It could even go deflationary. We could see the burns taking more out of the market every day than are being emitted, which would have a pretty good effect on the price of Ethereum in a big way. So Ethereum, you know, the long term of it is definitely looking good. I wouldn't be too concerned about Ethereum at this point. This might be a time to be buying it on the cheap, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Out of all the cryptos, Ethereum, with all their big changes coming, not for a short-term play by any means, because, you know, 2.0, they're saying the end of this year. Realistically, it's going to be early next year, because we all know how development teams tend to go with these things, especially with Ethereum. They tend to be a little bit slower on their rollouts, but they seem to be making some pretty good moves, so we can't really fault them on it. As far as the price actions in the short term, if we can make it past this, again, I don't know if we're going to make it past 22.5. If we do, we want to at least get up here like around 2,500. We need to set a new higher high at the very least, but I don't see it. Like we need to make it up past this point and at least, you know, close up here and start making a trend signal to the upside. It could happen now. I think we're still, you know, we're still a few weeks away from where I think we're gonna see a big massive bull push. So I like Bitcoin, I tend to think we're not going to make it up much past the upper range of this box, and we'll see us come back down. And if we do, then I would expect us not to make it down past the 1700 point. This seems to be giving us some pretty strong support. We've tested it there, we've tested it there, we've tested it there, and we've tested it back here. And $17 just doesn't seem to want to be a price to be broken unless this trend line continues and forces it to, right? I mean, that's a possibility too. If this bull or bear continues for a long time, then this trend line is going to keep putting more and more pressure on that $1,700 price, and we might see it get broken. But again, that's looking like end of August before that would happen, and I have a feeling somewhere in this area we're going to see the bulls come back, like mid August, early to mid August. So, you know, we might see a little bit more down towards the 1700 before we start going back up, but I'm not overly concerned with what Ethereum's doing because it seems to be doing things well. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for Ethereum. Not a lot to say here on it this week. Just gotta see what's gonna go on. And before we get into the next crypto, I want to take a minute of your time and talk about SwapSpace, a new site that I've discovered through my blog over on PublicOX. I'm going to link an article down below that walks you through the whole process. But essentially, you can exchange cryptocurrencies across blockchains super cheap and in one step. I've literally sent Bitcoin Cash from my Exodus wallet to the address that it tells you to send to, and received back both Cardano to my Exodus wallet and Cake to my Binance Smart Chain wallet in one step. Both of them costing about 36 cents US dollars in transaction fees. So if you can tell me a normal way to do that, then by all means tell me, because this site, and it aggregates through, I think there's like 18 different exchanges. Don't quote me on that number, I don't have it right in front of me, but it's really easy. You just pick the pair of cryptos you want to exchange for. You're going to click on view offers, and it's going to show you the ones you can do your exchange in, all of them, and you just click on exchange. It's like, hey, send your stuff here, and then we'll send it to whatever wallet you tell us, and it takes, you know, however long it takes the blockchain to confirm your transactions. It's very fast, one step, cross blockchain, and super cheap. I'm amazed by it. I discovered it and I'm a fan already. I'm going to put an affiliate link in the description below. If you want to use that, then, you know, it'll help me out a little bit. Doesn't give you any benefit, but it does benefit the channel. So by all means, if you want to do that, use my affiliate link. But SwapSpace, it's great. I'm happy I found it. Next up, we are going to talk about Polkadot, which, you know, obviously following the rest of the market on its way up, and it's getting some sell pressure here at the 20-day EMA. It hasn't seen quite, you know, as massive gains as the rest of them. It got a nice little pump up, and it's slowly been tapering off, so it seems like it might come back down. We did not quite hit the $10 mark, which is good. It means we're getting supported there since we lost our support line at the $13 line last week. So not blowing below $10 was good. But like the rest of the market, you know, the next few days is going to be very key, because we're still not up past our downtrend line. I don't want to put it there. I want to put it here. No, see, it's hard to draw a trend line on this one. I'm going to just have to say that we're way below it and come from here. So we're still well below our breaking the trend line. Like, we're not even close to it. So Polkadot, you know, like the rest of the market, I think is still a little ways, few weeks away from, you know, really heating up. We're getting resistance here. We've got another strong resistance line at the $17 line, and then we've got what should be, you know, another strong resistance line of this this downtrend. Even though, you know, this kind of flattened out and then dropped from it, so it's kind of making it hard to draw like a downtrend indicator because of this flat point didn't come up all the way up to where it should have, up into this range, which would have been making this prettier. But we'll see what happens. You know, if we make it past the 20-day EMA, I'd like to see us get up into this range, but I can't see it unless it takes a long time to get up there. It takes this long to get up there, we might see it break, but I think we're gonna see more coming back down towards the $10 before we see that happening. Because again, you know, the volumes seem a little higher on in comparison to the last few days. Like when we go back and look at Bitcoin, like we had a big day and then we had some pretty small days. We come back to Polkadot, you know, relatively volume didn't drop off, but the price also didn't push as hard. So it won one of the battles, but it didn't quite win the other one. So it's you know, it's still in the bull trap phase. I kind of think it might be trying to get people to throw some money back in before we see it come back down. But again, Polkadot's got a lot of good things going for them as far as things that are happening on the horizons with their parachains and all that fun stuff. So lots of stuff is coming. I can see, you know, us getting back up into good territory eventually. It's just probably not going to be right now. If I was doing the champagne thing with Polkadot, at this point it's probably on the shelf. It's not even in the ice, but we'll see what happens. You know, stranger things have happened in the crypto market. We may see it just blow right up right now and just go crazy, but the technicals aren't telling me that, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But that's gonna do it for Polkadot. Next up, we are going to talk about Polygon's MATIC token, which surprised me. It came down below the 75 cents line, made it all the way down to like, what, 60 cents? 62.1 cents? Managed to break it down what I thought was going to be a strong support line, which is now, we're not going to make it the weakest color. We'll make it a little bit, see, that's not, it's too strong there, a weaker color. We didn't make it all the way down to 45 cents. We did make it to 60. I'm not going to put a new line there just because that's not a well-tested line. It's the only time it's ever touched it. If we come back down and bounce off it again, I'll put a new line there. But the last time we crossed that threshold, we just blew past it and then had this line here. So historically, there's no good reason for me to consider that a good line. It's just where the price happened to go at this time. So we'll see if it gets back down there again. Surprisingly, you know, it's getting a lot more resistance off the 20-day EMA, to the point where it's the only crypto that's had a couple of down days. Well, at least the ones that I bother covering in the last few. Like most of them have been all green days trying to push up. This one's had a down day there, and we're currently in a down day now. So weird things are happening with the Polygon token. For all the exciting things that are happening on their network, and you know, how they basically make cheaper access to a lot of the Ethereum dApps, I can't explain what's happening with the MATIC token. It should be following pretty good and pushing up, so I don't know why it's not. So right now we're getting pretty strong resistance off the 20-day EMA. And based on how it's going, I'm almost thinking that we would then find more resistance here. I'm going to make it a weak resistance line. I'm still going to leave my strong resistance up here at $1.25, because that's still right now for me the price to beat. If we can get back up into this range, this would be our nice higher high, where, you know, breaking the downward trend. We can probably draw a nice downward trend on this guy. Start from here, I guess. Very top of it. I guess kind of technically we're, I guess, maybe breaking it down now. See, again, the market's behaving weirdly. We're not following any good bouncing off of it. So I guess maybe that's why we're getting some resistance too, is we're above this downward trend line. So, you know, we got a few things working against us right now in as far as Polygon. So maybe that's the key I was missing, is the downward trend is also giving us a fairly good amount of sell pressure. So like the rest of the market, I'm still thinking we're a few weeks off of a really good strong push. And based on how it's going now, we might actually see this push back down to, you know, the 60 cents where it hit before, maybe even down to like the 50, 45 cent range. We'll have to see how it goes, because this is not behaving like I figured it would at all. I expected it to follow the market up and we'd be at least up into here by now, but nope, that's not what's going on. So the next few days will be critical, but based on what I see now, I think we're going back down at least 60 cents, possibly all the way down to 45. We'll have to see how it goes, and we'll go from there. So really, that's all I can say about Polygon. It's going down, and there's a few reasons, I guess, why, but really, the technology is good. It should be going up. So, you know, this is where the whole I'm not a financial advisor comes into play, because, you know, I can't really explain this one out. So that's going to be it for Polygon for the week. And as always, we are going to end with my favorite altcoin, Cardano, which it's having a down day today, but that's not as worrying as with Polygon, where it had multiple ones. It's getting some price resistance from both the 20-day EMA and from the $1.25 support / now kind of resistance line, since we're below it, because we definitely pushed below it here in the last week. Came all the way down to $1 again. Well, just above $1. I'm going to call it $1 because $2.02. So, you know, we came down, bounced off the $1, which again confirms this is a pretty good support line for us, because we've tested it multiple times. I mean, we wicked below it there way back in April. And then ever since then, we've always been able to bounce either off of it or just above it. So $1 seems to be a pretty good support line. Like the rest of the market, I don't know that it's not going to go below it. Seems like it probably won't now. But, you know, again, we're in a downtrend. We haven't set a new higher high in quite a while. We need to push, you know, right now, for us to set a higher high, we have to break my big resistance line at $1.50, because that's where the last little upswing got us to. So I don't think we're gonna quite make it there, especially where we're getting all this resistance today. We might make it up into here, but I think that we're gonna see ourselves push back down towards $1 before we start bouncing back up. Long term, though, I mean, Cardano's got a lot of good things going for it. Alonzo testnet has just gone to the white phase, which brings, I think there's one more test phase after this before it goes to the main net. So everything seems to be on schedule for an early August release of smart contracts onto Cardano, which, I mean, at that point, it becomes a pretty big player. So I would like to see Cardano start going up, but I think, you know, short term, we're going to see a little bit more down pressure like the rest of the market, and within a few weeks we'll start pushing back up. The release of the smart contracts happens to coincide with when I think the market's going to pump, so I think Cardano might double benefit from going next gen and having the bulls return at the same time. So Cardano is still my favorite altcoin, both in technologically in their technology and as an investment. So I do enjoy myself some Cardano, but I do believe we're probably going to see a little bit of hurt here for the next few days. But I believe the good days are coming. So, but not a lot we can say here. Market's still kind of going down, and we're bouncing right now. So that's going to do it for Cardano. And that's going to do it for me for this week. If you enjoyed this video, you can go ahead and slap a like on it. I mean, you made it this far, you obviously enjoyed it at least a little bit. If you're not subscribed, you should probably do that. I make one of these every Saturday, and if the channel gets big, who knows, I might start doing some more. You can ring the little bell icon if you want, so that way you get notified when I post them. I have a blog that I post on every weekday. Some other places I post some stuff. Links to all that's usually in the description or just on my websites. I'm easy to find. Other than that, I'm going to shut the fuck up and get out of here, and you all have yourselves a good week.